Greetings viewers, Eric the Car Guy here, also known as ETCG1 on this channel. See the hat. Here on ETCG1 we talk about stuff. We don't do repair videos, so if you're looking for repair videos, head down to the description, click the link on the Eric the Car Guy channel, go there and watch all the repair videos you like. However, if you wish to stick around and join the conversation, I welcome you to do so. How are you? For today's discussion, differences of opinion. Some of you, I'm sure many of you have noticed, and in fact some of you may even have participated in this. In the comments of my videos, you may see something that you have issue with, you have to post about it, you have to tell the world, and I'm 100% okay with that. I'm 100% fine with having a difference of opinion. I think one of the things that we lose sight of in this business is we sort of see things in absolutes. You know, it's either my way or the highway kind of thing. And it's difficult to say who's right. I mean, even look at ASE questions. ASE questions, they have technician A says this, technician B says this. Who's right? Who's wrong? Are they both right? Are they both wrong? You know, this is something we deal with a lot because there is often a difference of opinion when going about anything, any type of procedure in this business, it seems. And it's been that since the beginning. In fact, in my very first video as Eric the Car Guy, I even came out and said, you know, I realized that there will be differences of opinion, but let's not make this into like some kind of argument about who's right, who's wrong. You know, let's just get to a point where we can agree to disagree, because not everybody does things the same way. I'm the guy doing the show, so I have the biggest target on my head. It's part of the job. I accept it. You know, it's just what it is. Some people are just flat out trolls. And you're just going to have that just because, you know, that's just how they are. But that's not exactly what I'm talking about. I'm talking about those people that are just vehemently against this, that, or the other thing. I will admit, you know, I don't always do it right. And I try, like I say, to be open-minded. But it's difficult to decide what information to take in, what information to leave out. Because on one hand, you're sitting there saying, okay, well, I've done it this way for a number of years and I'm comfortable with it, it works, I don't really feel like changing. And then on the other hand, you're like, well, you know, we need to evolve, we need to try new things. I mean, they're always coming out with new model years and new models, period. So there's new challenges that you're having to face often. Well, I'm here to say, I think we should learn to work together maybe a little bit better. Maybe learn to be a little more accepting. Maybe it's a matter of choosing your words carefully. Maybe that's all it is. Maybe instead of saying, "Wow, you're doing it wrong," you could say something like, "Perhaps you should try it this way," or, "Well, I do it this way and it works for me." Some other approach as opposed to just a negative right out of the gate, "You're doing it wrong." That immediately puts someone off. So if you're trying to correct someone, or if you're trying to show somebody how to do something, don't go at it with this attitude of, I am holier than thou. Because in my eyes, you lose credibility at that point. If you're that insistent on your opinions, it seems like you're not very sure of them yourself. If you have to fight that hard, that it seems to me that you're trying to prove it to yourself more than you're trying to prove it to me. So immediately, I'm switched off. I'm like, okay, great, have a nice day. And I'm not just talking about me, I'm just talking about people in general. When you're trying to approach people and you're trying to offer a different way of doing something, maybe a difference of opinion, I say, don't go at it as, I know more than you, go at it as a suggestion, as I'm trying to help you, not as I'm trying to lord over you, I'm trying to be your boss. That type of thing. There are times, yes, when there's imminent danger. You're about to drop a car on your head and somebody yells at you and says, get out of the way, stop doing that. Okay, granted, that situation is warranted. Life-threatening, the threat of imminent injury or death. Let's say that's the time to raise your voice and really be vehement about your opinions. However, if it's not a life or death situation, and it is just, say, a difference of opinion, let's treat it as such. Let's try to work together with this. Let's realize that we're all working towards a common goal. If you are working in your driveway, you want to get whatever it is you're working on back on the road, back working, in working order. If you're in a shop, you're trying to take care of the customer, you're trying to get the work done, You need to work together in those situations. Working against one another is counterproductive. So think about that the next time you come out with a very strong opinion about something. Think about, one, why you have that opinion, and can you present it in such a way to where it's not in your face. It doesn't have to be in your face. It can be just a conversation. And that's what I ask is I'm putting this out there as far as I go. Recent videos, people have had issue with some of the things. People have issues with everything that I've done. It's just, like I said, it's part of the job. But lately it seems that, you know, the guns are blazing and they just come out and they're just on the attack, and they're just telling me I'm doing it wrong. Some people are not that way. Some people are like, hey, Eric, why don't you try it this way? I respond to those people. I say, you know what, that's a good suggestion. I should try that next time. And that's the way I feel about it. Because the way I see it, I can take your experience in addition to my experience. I'm talking about you, the audience. I can take your experience along with my experience and share it with everybody. And if it's better, it makes all of us better. And I see it that way, and that's my approach. So if you have a problem with what I'm doing or whatever, I have a forum for this very thing. On every video I make these days, there's a link in the description, including to this video, about a discussion about this video. You can go over to the forum, and that's where I go to respond, and I definitely read those. I mean, I've spent a lot of time and effort building that whole area so that we can have this conversation, and that's what it's for. So even if you have a strong difference of opinion, that's okay. You're not going to get banned. You're not going to. The only thing that bans you from my forum is if you start attacking other members or you're spamming. One of those two things is going to get you banned. Other than that, if you just have a difference of opinion, you don't need to use foul language. But if you have a difference of opinion, fine, have a difference of opinion. That's okay. And I welcome that conversation. I welcome the dialogue. And that's what I want to do it as. I want to do it as a dialogue. I don't want to do it as, you're wrong, people are going to die. HID headlights is a perfect example. I think I had somebody come on there telling me that I was killing mothers and their babies by driving around with HID headlights in my halogen housings. I'm not exaggerating, but that's hyperbole. That's like on the far end of the spectrum. There have been other people that have come in and suggested things. Perfect example lately, I was doing a lot of brake work on the Fairmont, and there were a few people that suggested, hey, Eric, just take the brake pedal, push it down a little bit, and put something in there to hold it in that position, and nothing will leak out of the master cylinder because the cups inside the master cylinder will move to a certain point and basically lock off the system so that you don't have to worry about it bleeding out on you. Well, that was something I hadn't thought of, but it was a great suggestion. A lot of people made it. Great suggestion, though. And I will work towards doing that in the future. And I will share that in the future, just like I'm doing that here now. And that's what this is about. Eric the Car Guy isn't just about me. I mean, sure, my name's on the door, but it's about all of us. It's about all of us working together to try to do something better for ourselves, for our customers, you know, just for the repair industry at large. Because from what I'm seeing, there's not a whole lot of us left. And I think those of us that are left should stick together. And if we have a forum, I've tried to create one for us, either here or in the comments or wherever you decide to voice your opinions. That's what it is. It's an exchange of ideas. It's an exchange of information. And that's the way I want to keep it. So that is the summary of this video. That's where I'd like to go with it. So differences of opinion, it's okay. Technician A, Technician B, doesn't matter. Everybody's entitled to their opinion when it comes to Eric the Car Guy and ETCG1. That's the way I see it. Just be nice to the other people around you, and please refrain from profanities, because we don't really need that. We can get our point across without it. I'll hear you. Anyway, if you have automotive questions, in addition to if you wish to continue discussions like this one, head over to ericthecarguy.com. There's a welcome video there to tell you about all the amazing features that we have to help you with those automotive issues, should you have them. If you wish to connect with me socially, I can be found on Google+, Facebook, and Twitter, and each of my ETCG1 videos come out on Monday, so look for me again next Monday. And I close each of my videos with, be safe, have fun, and of course, stay dirty. I'll see you next time.